Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. This is Dylan with Tucson Future Classics, and that is our 2019 Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid. This particular plug-in hybrid Pacifica has got 80,500 miles on it. It's a one-owner car coming out of Southern California, and all the maintenance that has been reported to Carfax on this has been done at Chrysler dealerships. Speaking of that, right after we got this, we took it straight to Larry H. Miller here in town and got the high voltage battery recall done. So that's taken care of. They did a complimentary inspection on the thing for us, came out with a clean bill of health, and being 80,500 miles, it still falls under Chrysler's factory 10-year, 100,000-mile hybrid drivetrain and high voltage battery pack warranties for that little extra peace of mind. This is the only plug-in hybrid minivan. It's got a 16 kilowatt hour battery that'll give you right around 30 miles of all electric driving range before the gas engine kicks in and then runs like a conventional hybrid. Once that kicks on, you'll get 28 to 32 miles a gallon combined. Chrysler invented the minivan segment with the Plymouth Voyager, the Dodge Caravan, and the Chrysler Town & Country in the 80s. This replaced the last of the Grand Caravans and the Town & Countries. So when they rolled out the Pacifica, they kind of clean slated the whole thing. Treat it like a cell phone for around town commuting, plug it in every time you get home, unplug it when you leave, and barely burn any gas if you're doing around town commuting. But enough of this. Let's get up under the hood, inside the car, and out for a rip. Let's get you under the hood here, and kind of a cool rundown, much like the Chevy Volt plug-in hybrids that I've shown off before. When you pop the hood on this, even though it's sitting here in EV mode, when you open that hood, it goes into a maintenance mode where it fires up, idles, and lets you check on everything while the engine gets up the temperature. Now, a bit busy under this engine bay, but it's not particularly hard to understand. It's just a little cramped being a plug-in hybrid. So your 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 is right here in the middle. That functions as both the engine and a generator to keep that battery topped up. You check your oil for your motor here, add it there. These coolant reservoirs here, battery, gas engine, drive motor, and inverter unit. Add your windshield washer fluid here, and moving across, you've got brake fluid reservoir here, your positive post to jumpstart the vehicle here, negative post is there, your air filter is here. It's really all you've got to worry about up under the hood. Back in here, these back seats fold flat into this really, really deep cargo bay. I'll pull this way out here and show you on my big old legs. This will swallow up a ton of cargo or the entirety of those back seats. They even number all of the tabs for you to pull. So first thing, those fall down. Grab this to release the bottom, and then give number 2 a pull, and the whole thing, if I'm not a clod, falls right down. Second one, I'll show you again, same thing. Pull that, release there, and then just give this a pull, and it'll tumble and fold right in. Now again, one-handed here, grab that loop, up it goes. Take number 2, pull that, and they are right back up. Same thing on the bigger side. Pull, throw it, pull it, lock it in, and then boom, boom, ready for passengers again. Now open up the middle, double tap left, double tap right. I'll just get both of these opened up for everybody. This being the plug-in hybrid means the battery pack is right down under here, which is why you don't get a spare tire, but you also don't get those flip and fold seats that tumble in. What that does mean is all of these plug-in hybrids come with the bigger bolstered captain's chairs here in the middle, and if you need to fit some really big stuff, these do still remove pretty easily in Chrysler fashion. Let me show you that really quick. What I'll do first, grab a hold of this handle here. That tumbles forward, right? Now there's a lever right here. You pull that, that'll release the pins underneath this. And then this is where you need 2 hands. I'm gonna pause. So you pull that tab, it releases the pins in the back, and the seat tumbles forward and comes right out of its tracks. Jump cut to the other side of the van. Bingo bango. You have got all of the cargo space you would expect from a Chrysler minivan with the seats deleted. In fact, you can literally walk right through it. The seat on the side to show you guys a little bit easier. These clip in to here, and then the seat locks itself down into place. So you see, those pins meet up there, and then it's just a matter of dropping the seat down. It's locked into place, and up it goes. One other cool thing to point out, all along the bottom here, those are hooks for you to hang your, grocery bags or whatever, keep them from rattling around. And those are reinforced top tether anchors for child seats, so you can get child seats and anchors in both the middle and rear row. Show off just how much room they crammed into this van. I have it set up in the worst case scenario for legroom. Big people all the way through. This driver's seat is where I sit at 6'1", 270 pounds. That passenger seat is as far back as it can go and reclined. And both of these middle rows are slid all the way to the back of their tracks and reclined. So we're gonna pop on in. I'm gonna spin myself on through the middle. And this is the very back row with about as little leg room as you can possibly make it have. Slide over both sides, spin this thing around, and you'll see good knee room, good gut room, good head room. And again, that middle row is as far back as it can go. And as you see, you got a few amenities back here. Spin this thing around real quick. Backseat passengers get their own lights, their own air vents, and cup holder, a little pocket for keeping stuff or holding on tight. The passenger side passenger gets a deeper cubby and 2 cup holders, so that's the premium backseat spot. And let's swing into the middle row. These seats have got armrests left and right. So with these seats all the way back, one more, all the way back, I can recline them a little bit more if I want to, come forward. But even with that, if I put both of these armrests down, I'm not gonna be getting in anybody's space over here. I can just reach the back seat. So, kids ain't gonna be all like, oh, they're touching me, they're breathing on me. Or if you have older kids and they've got friends and their friends happen to be a football or a rugby team, you're all gonna fit. This is the climate control panel where if you as the driver are feeling generous, you can give the middle row passengers control over their own rear half of the climate in this thing because it has 2 HVAC units. Now that we're done talking about comfort and storage for everybody else, let's focus on you, dear future owner of this van, and the captain's seat where you're going to be spending most of your time. Pop this door open again for just a second to show you. You've got power windows, power door locks, power mirrors here. This is actually the button to release the fuel filler door on the rear left of the van. Little storage cubby here with a cutout for like water bottles and stuff, so it'll rest kind of nicely in there. And then you've got your headlight controls down here. Gonna open these windows, let a little bit more light bleed through. And here on the steering wheel, this being a Chrysler product, it is really simple, but with a few nice touches. This is all of your cruise control stuff right here. This controls your center screen, which runs through, a ton of menus and nerdy stuff. Coolant temperatures, oil pressure, battery, bunch of information in here. It'll give you hybrid drive cycle and information like that, showing how efficiently you're driving, historical averages, all sorts of good stuff like that. So tons of information and accessible stuff in here to keep you well informed and well appraised of what your vehicle is doing at all times. Now the gauge cluster itself looks a little bit different than traditional. This is a power meter here, which will show both EV battery usage on this side, how much power you're putting back into the wheels. If it spikes to 100, the gas motor will probably kick on and help you out. And then the bottom half of this shows your regenerative braking. So this has what's called blended brakes, where as you push the brake pedal, it'll use regen first before ever engaging the physical friction brakes. You've got a split range gauge on this side showing battery percentage up top, approximate EV range here, total combined range and gas only range on the bottom, and your traditional big fuel gauge on the right hand side. You have these buttons. The right side of the wheel adjusts your volume and the center button mutes. The left side of the wheel will skip tracks if I have it playing from my Bluetooth. So you'll see it will jump when I hit that. Speaking of, I'm gonna shut those windows for just a second. I'm gonna jump ahead on the song so I don't get copyright struck really quick. But this thing's sound system, it's the upgraded one, is a better infotainment. It's got some punch to it, which is really, really nice. The volume off will also shut the screen down if you want to run dark. You can turn the screen off here as well. But getting into all the other fun features. AM, FM, XM satellite radio, media. I have mine Bluetoothed in. You can do auxiliary line in, USB, or if you go to apps and you are plugged into the USB slot right down there, you can screen project your smartphone onto this for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which again, really, really nice to have. Climate control controls are done digitally here if you want to. They're also repeated down below. I'll show you that in just 1 second. But basically, you can dial in everything up here. I like to set recirc, auto, a temperature, and just let it do its thing. But if you want to control the rear climate, you can lock them out and adjust it yourself, or have it sync to the front climate. Or if you were to unlock that, you could let that rear panel take over and let, the backseat passengers dial in their climate control as they want to. Obviously, this has got all the usual phone connectivity stuff with it as well. Under the apps, you have just basic stuff, but it gives you dial in your audio settings, bass, treble, balance. Hybrid electric shows you a pretty cool screen showing where your electricity is going and how it is being used. Driving history will show you a graphical analysis of it, and you can turn on a charging schedule where, let's say, I know here in Tucson, TEP has on-peak and off-peak rates. You can set a timer on this to only charge during off-peak hours to get the cheapest electricity. Pretty cool stuff. And then settings runs you through a just absolute ton of personalization options there. So down below, I'll open the door to cast a little bit extra light in here because you'll be blind if I shot on top, so I'm shooting down in the parking garage today. You have got your gear shift here, roto dial, park, reverse, neutral, drive, push in and turn for low, which also gives you a little bit extra regenerative braking. Helps you use as much electricity as possible before that engine kicks on. Up here, volume and tuner knobs, parking sensors on and off, traction control on and off. You can kill the screen with that button there, mute and hazards. This is the physical touch side of that climate screen that is repeated here, and you can see if you play with it, just smaller icons will show up without disturbing what you've got going on the main screen. Moving down below, storage is the name of the game in minivans. So you've got a storage cubby here, a storage cubby here, USB line in and auxiliary line in there. Dropping this even further down, this whole tray pops out. Got coin slots, a bunch more storage way down in this big deep cubby. Down below, we've got a rubber reinforced little floor mat there with Chrysler minivans through the years depicted on it, as well as a cigarette lighter, sealed plug, and a USB fast charger plug there. In between you and the passenger, you've got 4 cup holders to play with and a little, what I like to use, a cell phone storage slot there. And then, now this is full of my detailing supplies and my dealer plate, but this has got a moderately good-sized glove box in it. It's got, dealer plate, the factory books, about 4 detailing rags and some other stuff, but that's good enough to swallow quite a bit. But that's enough of this. let's go get this thing out for a drive. I have got every window open, so let's head on down out of the parking garage. We'll leave here in EV mode. It'll do some driving in EV mode before the gas engine kicks on. But just take a listen. This is as quiet as it's ever going to be. We've got the walls to echo any undue sounds off of. So listen to the suspension and the brakes as we come on through the garage here. Just works good. I mean, we know being in EV mode right now, it's going to be whisper quiet, but no tire noise, no squeaks or rattles from the suspension. Even if I thump the brakes, doesn't make any undue sounds at all. Now, this does have parking sensors and a backup camera, so really quickly, let's just show you those right quick. Let's say we're going to park next to this little Scion here. Knock that rotodial back into reverse. Backup camera kicks on. It shows park sense rear braking assist is on. Where the sensor suite of sonar shows up here, camera is there. So let's just spin this thing right on back into a parking spot and see if we can't get those little sonars to yell at us from the wire cable stays behind us. If they don't read them, that's not uncommon, but I didn't even have to touch the brakes. It sensed the wires behind us and it thumped the brakes so I didn't back into those little cables. Pretty good system and very useful for not to, backing into anything you don't otherwise want to back into. Pulling out of the parking garage, headed towards the highway, but get us out on the tram tracks, drive on the broken pavement. Still sitting here in EV mode, doing its thing. You can see it showing regenerative braking is working, and it shows you all this stuff in real time, which is kind of a lot of fun if you're a bit of a nerd about the operation of your vehicle. But this being a minivan, you sit up pretty high in it. You've got a ton of visibility, so if you crane your head around, there's not much you're gonna miss. And one other thing I forgot to mention before, for keeping an eye on the backseat passengers, you got a little fisheye lens up top there as well. Gas engine kicks on. Speed just keeps climbing. It merges awesome. So yeah, if you need to get out of your own way in a hurry, this thing's got you covered. I'm gonna pop that cruise control back on, get over a lane or two, and show you how this thing really sounds at a true West Coast high-speed highway cruising speed. Get her set up at around 75. And yes, every time the gas motor kicks on, it reminds me that I need to replace the key fob battery, but don't worry, I will have that sorted before any of you all come to look at this thing. But I'm gonna be a little quieter now, because that is 75, and this thing kicked itself right back onto all electric power. So even at high speed highway cruising, if it does need to use that gas motor, it's not gonna. Sitting here on the end of one of my favorite little stretches of mostly abandoned dead-end road, gonna do a quick 0 to 40 to 0 to show you all there's nothing hiding in the suspension or braking system under full accelerative or decelerative load. And just because it's a minivan doesn't mean it can't get out of its way in a hurry if you need it to. So 3, 2, 1, go. 40. ABS, right to a stop. No fuss, no muss, no drama. It's pretty cool that even in something as sizable as this, that EV motor works great to help it dig off the line and get up to speed more quickly. And then it uses the regenerative braking, that electric motor, in conjunction with the physical brakes to slow you down even more quickly. Now, this is really where this van kind of comes into its element. Low to mid-speed urban and suburban commuting, even over some of the roughest pavement you'll find in Tucson. Soaks these bumps right up. The suspension does a great job. And again, it's still primarily using the electric motor, even with a couple of those 0 to 40 to 0 hard accelerations and a couple of freeway blasts at high speeds to try to get footage for you all. This is the average MPG since I started filming today, and there's probably been about an hour of that idling with the AC running, getting photos too. So suffice it to say, I'm pretty impressed. There you have it. 2019 Pacifica plug-in hybrid. If you're looking to move as much people and as much stuff as possible, as comfortably as possible, while spending as little at the gas pump as possible, not only are these Pacifica plug-ins the best game in town, they're kind of the only game in town. This one being white over tan, desert spec colors, and still having that Chrysler factory hybrid powertrain and high voltage battery warranty remaining, just means it's going to make a great Southwestern mule for whomever needs it to. To make an appointment to check this thing out, our contact information is linked in the description below, and our phone number will be on screen in just a moment to make it easier to call or text. As always, I've been Dylan. We'll see you soon.